Baptism is baptism. The Eucharist is the Eucharist in both forms, and we respect both forms. But I think for us personally, our experience of the sacraments is intertwined with this deep symbolism that we look to, and with each child who's baptized, with each First Communion and their preparation for it. With our oldest's confirmation, most recently in the older form, it's something we return to, that the younger children have seen their older siblings go through, and they're excited when it's their turn. And now what? Our bishop has taken away our Mass, and we're so sad.
It's our home. It's our parish, our home, and now it's taken away.
Hello, I'm Franz Klein, and
Rosemary.
We're a married couple with 6 children, ranging from ages 13, almost 14, down to, well, what's Julius? 2 years old. And we are members of the St. Mary's Ridge Latin Mass community, which until recently celebrated the Latin Mass, the traditional form of the Latin Mass, under our pastor here in the Diocese of Crosse, where Bishop William Callahan is bishop. We're devastated right now. Why are we devastated?
Because our Mass is being taken away from our little parish, country parish.
It's a long-standing community which is met at this particular parish, and we thought for sure that an exemption would be granted. But our pastor received a letter a few weeks ago stating that there would be no exemptions, and we're shell-shocked. We were not expecting that. We had been led to believe that this community would continue in the parish as it was.
We moved back to Wisconsin in 2017, and we went back to our parish that we attended, St. Peter's Middle Ridge. We attended that when we were first married, and so that's where we came back to. And we were involved there, but we were led after about, was it the first year or the second year?
It was
here?
after 2 years.
After 2 years of being here, that we just felt there was something we wanted more. And especially having all boys and serving, we were very attracted to the Latin Mass and the serving that we would see with the boys, and we wanted that for our boys. Being able to participate for me personally, because our boys actually behave better when we go to the Latin Mass, it's less distracting, and I think in part it's because of the intricate way the Mass is celebrated at the altar, and your focus is so on the altar and not on the people around you. And the music is very beautiful, which also just gives you a sense of like being present there, and not my thoughts don't wander. From a family perspective and for myself personally, there's been a huge growth in my being able to participate in the Mass myself.
What we saw in our St. Mary's community was peers for our boys who took it seriously, and tackling serving in particular, learning the prayers at the foot of the altar, memorizing the Latin, the precision and the complexity of the tasks they're called to.
Even the steps like that they take, the very specific steps.
Moving from, a torchbearer to a second acolyte to a first acolyte, now looking at possibly being a thurifer, and the additional challenges. It's a very serious thing. It's something that I think elicits respect on their part, and I'm so excited to see them embrace that. And it's something that drew us in particular to the traditional Latin Mass as we thought about what our own children needed. We love the Mass in general. We love reverence in the Mass. But we found in this community a place where our children are immersed in it, and it's become a real community to us.
Yes, it has.
We still have the traditional Latin Mass at the shrine, and I have a feeling that Bishop Callahan, who is not a bad man, feels that he's being true to the letter of Traditionis, and he has still provided for us the Latin Mass. What I'm not sure that he understands is that he has taken us out of a community where our pastor has he's worked us into the life of the wider parish, and now that's gone, and in a sense we're cast from our community, and we're in perpetual pilgrimage at the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is not a parish. We don't want to be in a spiritual ghetto, as one of our fellow parishioners put it. We want to be members of a parish, and we've been taken away from that, and we're at the shrine now. And on the one hand, there's us still able to drive to the shrine. There are other members of our community who can't.
Physically, the distance is too much. They have large families, a lot of them, and it's just not a feasible option because the Mass is also an earlier time for them to even try to be able to make it.
That is a member of our community, that we know their other option is to go to that SSBX chapel. And I wonder if the bishop has considered the consequences here, how they're having the traditional Latin Mass at a temporary location at a shrine is too far for some to go.
We as a family have found our spiritual growth in our faith by attending the traditional Latin Mass, and this was a community, as Franz said, that's been there for almost 2 decades, and it's like,
there are people
why?
who have raised their families in it, had their children baptized in it, whose children have been married in the older form, and who've had children who've been baptized. We have a couple in the community whose son has been ordained a priest for the fraternity. This is a community of nearly 2 decades with all these fruits, and now it's not there anymore.
And I want to say too that Father Crosse has been very good about,
our pastor
has been very good about incorporating, like meeting his people where they're at and not being exclusive to Latin Mass, to the Novus Ordo. Very respectful of letting and also introducing them to each other, trying to do things to help bring them together. At the same time, also not trying to say, well, this one's better over this one, or that one's better over that one, and just, yeah.
In conclusion, Bishop Callahan, if you watch this in particular, we're speaking to you. We love our community. We would ask that you consider doing what other bishops have done and recognize that it is within your power canonically to grant an exemption. Again, we would ask you to reconsider for the good of the souls entrusted to you. Please give us back our traditional Latin Mass at St. Mary's and at the other parish locations in this diocese. Thank you.